Hi Pisces, this is Lost Twin Tarot. My name is Colette if you haven't viewed me before. Pisces, this is a general weekly reading for April 1st through the 7th. This is good for sun, moon, and rising placements. Just take the pieces that resonate and then leave the rest. Pisces, when I was meditating on your cards, I was getting a few different things. This is the week of the retrograde. Um, so it's kind of like, things can be a little bit odd that week, that's or for that while. It always affects people a little bit differently. I always feel like it can be really good um for me since I'm a Gemini, or sometimes it's really, not great. So I hope these readings are going to be okay delivering these messages for you. Um, so anyway, um what I felt like on your cards was that I feel like you're going to be distancing yourself that week, almost because of the retrograde. I feel like you're going to be distancing yourself and protecting yourself, like from any like negative people, um like toxic like energies. I feel like if you feel like there's um if there's anything that's like, heavy traffic, if you hear something like that, or you see something that's going to be, or you hear something, oh, it's like, oh, it's supposed to be really bad over there tonight. Oh, I'm not going out, or bad weather, or anything like that. I feel like you're like, oh, I'm not going over there. That's kind of like the energy I'm getting. If somebody tries to, nonstop call you that you don't want to hear from, I feel like that's kind of the energy that you are protecting yourself from. Um, I also feel like it's going to be a good week for love for you. Um, in that week, I feel like the whole month of April is going to be good for you when I did your monthly reading, but I feel like that week is going to be good for love for you. Um, I feel like sometimes, with that retrograde, it can be a little bit of a confusing time. Um, I feel like sometimes you have a tendency to um not know. You can almost have a tendency to confuse yourself. You can confuse your partner. Um, but I feel like it's almost like they don't really mind. I feel like it's one of those things where I kept getting something like when you fight, but when you make up, you like really make up. That was what I was hearing. Um, the other thing I was getting was something about leaves, like the leaves on a tree. Um, like something almost like odd about like some of you do like artwork with them or something like that, like you, or flowers, like you um put them between like wax paper or something like that, um or you do something, you put them in like resin, or you put them in like something like that. I was getting something like artwork that you all do. You have the Nine of Swords on the bottom. It was something like that. I was getting, I keep seeing like you do, it was like a layering effect. It was like almost like a peacock looking thing, but it was made out of leaves. It was very interesting. I don't know where it comes from. Two, three, four. All right. You have the Two of Swords, the Ten of Wands, the Strength card, the Moon, the Hangman, and the King of Cups. You have the Ten of Pentacles on the bottom. You have the Six of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, the Ten of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. So you have two aces, the Nine and the Ten of Cups, the Six of Pentacles. We'll do some further clarifications, Pisces, but it looks pretty good so far. So you have the Two of Swords and you have the Six of Pentacles. So you might be having maybe a little bit of confusion that week. Like, like I say, you might be trying to make a choice about something and you're a little bit back and forth. Um, you know, I feel like you could be trying to make a decision on something and you're trying to figure out what you should put your energy into. And this could represent, a few different things. Six of Pentacles is about, kindness. It represents, what you could, you know, putting your energy into something and what not to put your energy into. It also represents about, having the skill as well. Sometimes I look at this card and I feel like, it's like a little bit interesting. You see these two ghosts in the background and you see this child, and he looks pretty happy. It's kind of like a mischievous energy. So I feel like maybe there's something that, she has this blindfold on that she can't see and she's guarded. And then you have these two ghosts here. So it's almost like something that you're not seeing. That's something that's not seen and you're a little bit, maybe just guarded and it's a little bit like you're just a little bit blind to something. But it might not even be that big of a deal. And it might be just something that can be easily almost I'm getting the idea of like it's like an easy fix, almost like a child could give us like it's like it can be easily seen through a child's eyes. Um, you ever kind of be like you're in your head about something and a child kind of says something ridiculous and you're like, you kind of think like, yeah, that's actually pretty insightful. And it kind of just makes you think like, why didn't I think of that? Or they almost say the most simplest thing and it actually is exactly what you needed to hear. I feel like it's almost something like that. It could be something that's almost just like an easy thing, an easy fix to a situation, something very innocent in a way. But we'll do some further clarifications. The other thing I see, you have the Ten of Wands with the Eight of Swords. And I feel like this is something that's really important that you need to put down these burdens for that week, Pisces. And that is the Eight of Swords energy. The Eight of Swords, I feel like, is one of the worst cards for me personally in the deck. And the reason why is because, maybe being an air sign, the Eight of Swords, it's self-imposed restriction. It's something that nobody else is doing to us. It could have been originally somebody conditioned us into believing this, you know, but now we're stuck with it. We keep thinking, I can't do this. I'm too stupid. Or, that's kind of something that I always heard, so it's like, and something like that, I can't, I got too many obligations. I feel like that's what you always say. I have too many obligations, especially as a Pisces. I got too many obligations. I can't, I'm too busy. That's definitely something that I can, definitely feel like you would say, Pisces. And I feel like that's something that you need to break away from, for sure. You definitely is something you need to take more care of yourself. And put yourself first. And I feel like that's almost like that Six of Pentacles is saying. It's almost like it's an easy fix. All you have to do is just put yourself first. And I know it seems like, oh, well, that's so easy, much easier said than done. But it's almost like you just have to almost realize that, you know, that the world's not going to end without you. It's like, would it really be a big deal um if somebody else made dinner? Would it really be a big deal if the load of laundry didn't get done? Would it really be a big deal if you asked somebody else for some help? Things like that. Take it how it resonates. Because Pisces do have a way of punishing themselves. It's just what they do. And I understand as well, being a Pisces moon. The next you have a Strength card and the Ace of Pentacles. And I feel like what this is saying is that, there is an opportunity for you to receive almost to receive an opportunity for help. Um, you have an opportunity to get some of your own personal strength back. Um, and I feel like you can get this back. You do have help. Um, but not only is it going to require some strength from you to almost ask help, almost pull this opportunity towards you. It's almost going to be something like that. Like you almost have to reach out and grab this opportunity. But it's going to be rewarding because you're going to gain a lot of strength back. This could be physical strength, this could be personal strength, or even emotional strength, but it's going to be very rewarding. And you're going to realize how strong you are by doing this. Um, take this how it resonates, but I feel like that is something that I'm getting for you um, in that week. The next thing you have is the Nine of Cups, and you have the Moon and the Nine of Cups. And I feel like the Nine of Cups is all about, a wish fulfillment. And I feel like sometimes with that moon card, you can't see that, Pisces. The moon is all about confusion, it's about illusion. And, Pisces is a lot about, that dreamy energy. And sometimes it's like it gets so dreamy to the point where sometimes it's gets to be like so dreamy where it runs away and then it turns into complete illusion and confusion, and it's almost like we don't really even realize what we're even thinking, and we kind of almost get wrapped up in our head like, wait a minute, I don't even know what's real. I don't know if I'm right, I don't know if I'm wrong, I don't know if this person's telling me the truth, I don't know what's what. I feel like you almost kind of get confused in your wish fulfillments. Like sometimes you don't even know what you want. And, I feel like the moon card's kind of telling you to just almost just kind of stay on your path and trying to trust your intuition. Trust your intuition and don't let your that dreamy energy run away with it. Try to just trust in what feels right. Don't get wrapped up in that head, of that almost like that dreamy energy where it gets to be almost fantasy, like where the difference between intuition where it feels right and that fantasy almost feels like your almost burning head is in the clouds where it's almost carrying you away to another dimension. I hope that makes sense. Next, you have the Hangman and the Ten of Cups. And I feel like that's kind of tied with that. Those are both Pisces. You have the Pisces moon and then you have that Pisces hangman card, and it's really, and that's, it ties so well in with your read. It's so crazy. It's like, and it's like you're hung up, it's like you're hung up on trying to get to this 10 of cups and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It's like you're making all these sacrifices and you're just kind of hanging there. You're like, I've sacrificed so much for everybody. I've done so much. What am I doing? I just, and it's like you're just hanging there waiting. And I feel like you're doing a lot for everybody. And you're like, well, where's my 10 of cups? Where's my 10 of cups? And I feel like that's definitely what you're doing. And you're just waiting on this clarity. And I feel like you are going to get clarity, Pisces. You're just sort of waiting for it. You're waiting for that light bulb moment. And I feel like that's kind of what is coming in. You're waiting for that clarity. And I think you will get it. Um, you could be a little bit blocked in that first week of that retrograde, but I do feel like it's coming in for you. You have the Ace of Wands and the King of Cups. I feel like a King of Cups person is helping you. This could be a somebody with water in their chart with the Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. Um, or this can be a very nurturing companion, or a friend or somebody like that. This could also represent you as well. But I do feel like this could be definitely a companion who is helping you through this. I feel like they're, kind of guiding you on this and trying to help you kind of get right with your emotions. I feel like this person loves you and nurtures you a lot and kind of helps you on kind of like when you are a little bit fogged out sometimes. With the Ace of Wands, I feel like, you are kind of getting into this mode of out with the old, in with the new, and you're trying to find that, that, um, that spark of what you're looking for and something that is promising as well. Let's do some more clarifications for you, Pisces, and see what is going on for you. What's the Two of Swords with the Six of Pentacles? You have the Lovers. You have the Six of Cups. Yeah, and I feel like, the Lovers and the Six of Cups, I feel like that could be, what you're kind of, maybe going back and forth on. When I was meditating on your cards, I feel like that's something, that you can be a little bit confusing on. You could sometimes confuse your partner. This could also be something that you confuse yourself on with like what path you're taking in life, and I feel like that's something that you can be a little bit wishy-washy on. Um, I feel like with the Six of Cups, that is also like kind of like a blessing as well. It can represent children, but I feel like this is kind of like what you generally want in life. Um, Whether this is in a partner or just what path you're trying to go down. But I feel like it's something simple. It's not simple, but it's something um genuine that you'll be able to see. With the Ten of Wands and the Eight of Swords, you have the Queen of Cups. You have the Justice card on the bottom. And with this, I feel like, this Justice card, I don't really like this Justice card too much. And the only reason why is because it's kind of like, I mean, maybe unless it's just, maybe it's because like this mom is kind of like, she's kind of giving her kid a good beating. And I feel like that could be possibly where that Eight of Swords came from, maybe, in the past where you were maybe, I just feel like it's like a conditioned energy, where you came from, where it was always like, like I have to do this, I can't do this, where you just felt like you had to take on a lot. You had to take on a lot of the burdens in your life, and you really felt like you couldn't break away from that. This is just generally speaking, just take it how it resonates. But I feel like with the Queen of Cups, that's definitely you. And you were just kind of born to almost take on the emotional burdens as well. It's almost like because maybe you didn't get that when you were younger as well. It's like you have to take on the emotional burdens of others. But now it's kind of time for you to let that go because you need to take care of yourself so you can take care of others. You need to nurture yourself so you can be able to take care of others. You have with the Ace of Pentacles and the Strength card, you have the High Priestess, and the King of Pentacles, which is all about stability. And, like I said, this could be an opportunity about a lot of different things. I feel like, the King of Pentacles is all about stability. And when I was saying about the Ace of Pentacles, this is going to be almost something that you have to reach out for. And it's going to require a lot of strength, but because of you doing this, it's going to give you a lot more strength back. Whether this is physical, mental, emotional strength, you're going to gain a lot of your strength back. I feel like with the High Priestess, it's almost like you're not going to see it right away. You're not going to be able to see like how it's going to develop, but it will develop right before your very eyes. This is not something you're going to be able to see, touch, smell. It's almost like this is something that just has to kind of happen. Um I'm trying to think of an example. Um I feel like in a way I feel like for this to happen, it's almost like I feel like this is like something like an opportunity has to come in to where I guess maybe take it for like an example, like if you have an older child like living with you, if you have an older child who's living with you, um, and then they I don't know, say they've been living with you for a while and you've been taking on like a lot of their burdens. Um, and then at one point you're like, I think maybe it's time that you, help with, such and such around, the house that they've never done before. Um, by doing that, you would be able to, um, and maybe you almost don't want to have to ask, but because they're doing that, or maybe you ask them to just do something else. Or maybe ask them to move out or whatever it is, take it how it resonates. Because of you doing that, you will be getting your strength back emotionally, because it's a burden because you have more space. You'll be able to get your physical strength back because maybe you don't have to um maybe because you don't have to, I don't know, carry 10,000 baskets of laundry up the stairs. I don't know, take it how it resonates, or maybe because you'll have more strength because you'll have time to go to the gym more. Whatever it is, take it how it resonates. I'm just trying to, get an example, kind of off the top of my head. But that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like, it's almost like you have to pull that opportunity out to almost get it. But it's going to require a lot of strength because it's almost like you don't want to have to ask, but it's like you almost are at the point where you're like, I have to do it in a way. I hope that makes sense. You have the Ten of Pentacles on the bottom with the Nine of Cups and the Moon. You have the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, and I feel like this is definitely has to do with something inside the home. Um, it's like it's almost like you want this wish fulfillment, and it's something that has to do within the home. I feel like you want this wish fulfillment, but you can't see it. And I feel like it's because it's being blocked from something inside your home, inside your environment. And it doesn't have to be inside your home. This can be something in a place that you spend a lot of time. Whether this is at work or in an environment that maybe you spend a lot of time at a local place with your friends, school, whatever this is. I feel like it could be potentially you're not getting to that wish fulfillment, because maybe you're having anxiety about, the air. You're having like anxiety and you're having like an illusion, and it's kind of like being blocked because of that. I don't want to say being blocked, but it's like you can't pull it in or you can't see it. With the Ten of Cups and the Hangman, you have the Strength card on the bottom with that Knight of Swords. Yeah, and I feel like that's exactly what it's almost like the universe is telling you to do. It's like the universe is telling you you have to pull that strength out. You have to get the strength to call in that Knight of Swords energy. And the Knight of Swords is the quickest knight, so it's like it's fast energy. He's the fastest moving knight. You look at this knight, and it's like he's really suave. He's almost like really mysterious, so it's almost like you could be asking somebody else to do something for you if you might be a little bit nervous too. But he's the fastest moving knight to get things going. He's also very laser like focused. So whatever you're trying to maybe have happen, or this opportunity, that Ace of Pentacles, I feel like it's almost like you might need a little bit of a push, or somebody else needs to give you that little bit of a push. It definitely could be a loved one as well. And lastly, you have that Seven of Swords on the bottom, but you have the Justice card. You have that with the King of Cups and the Ace of Wands. And I feel like that Justice card, with that type of energy on the bottom, I feel like this is kind of what is all about. This is, this whole reading is sort of about. The Justice is kind of you've been, the Seven of Swords, I feel like this is almost what that's all about. You've been kind of lying to yourself, kind of feeling like you you do have the strength, you do have the courage, and you do have, this spark, this motivation, this, energy behind you to really make anything you want happen. You do have the ability to have this Nine of Cups, Ten of Cups. You have this intuition of the High Priestess. You have all the capability to make things happen. But I feel like you've been almost just need to just give that little bit of push, And I feel like you're going to have a really good month, Pisces. But that first week, I feel like with that, especially with that retrograde, is kind of what's going to um it's almost like it's the retrograde is kind of like what's kind of the kind of trying, it's almost like the universe is trying to push you back, but it's like you need to push through it to get to where you want, because I see a lot of good energies coming in for you. but it's almost like you just need that one little push. I feel like also the King of Cups energy, if this is a person that you're with, or this is just your emotions being in control, especially with the Justice card, um, you know, balancing things out, that could definitely give you that final push. But it looks good for you, Pisces. It does look like a good reading. I feel like you're going to have to pull out your strength, and pull out your strength as hard as it is, and get to what you want. But it looks good for you. Thank you so much for viewing me today. I really, really appreciate it. Until then, definitely enjoy your week, and I hope to see you at the next reading. Thanks. Bye.